Bada bing, bada boom. We're back. Thanks for joining us. Roll for mischief time. We are trucking right along with episode 11 being dungeon mastered by Asa Kinney right here. This one's called Firestarter. And where we last left our characters, they had a brief moment, little more than a moment. They had enough time to chill for a while, take a rest, gain their spell slots back, gain some much needed hit points back, especially in Hilofax's case. And they did what they could to take care of Eridu. They talked with John Sonsgood a bit, got some good information, and now they've got this mission, kind of, to go find Emily, rescue her, I guess deal with this renegade Joran fellow. He's probably just going to be in the way, so we may as well just get him right out of the way. And through that, hopefully, we can find a teleportation circle that'll be able to lead us to our next goal of finding Agrian, who was the original poisoner dude that poisoned all the people, and we need to figure out what's going on with that poison. How can we save Eridu, who is currently poisoned?
How many more times can we say poison?
Poisoned.
Poison.
Also,
Yo,
we
it's a
learned that it takes an hour and a half in real lifetime to do an 8-hour rest.
Yes, that's what we learned.
And a whole lot of goofing off.
It was needed. Things have been very intense. We needed to goof off for a second. Give us a break here.
I mean, at the moment, Leodin still thinks everything's hilarious, so...
Oh, yeah.
And all of us chuckling to ourselves,
I'm confused.
head off on the road and make our way towards Twin Harbors. The journey is, long because Eridu is moving a bit slower. He could turn himself into a bear, make the pace a little bit faster. But it's mostly uneventful. There's no nobles you have to impersonate or anything along those lines. But yeah, within about an 8-hour stretch of time, you're able to make it down the road towards Twin Harbors. As you get closer to the harbor, someone sensible calls for a chance to stop and come up with a plan. Because, as you know, the few of you that probably shouldn't just go strolling in Twin Harbors should come up with some way of getting in smartly.
Leodin doesn't even know where we are or why we're here as opposed to the other place. She was conveniently out of the room.
Oh, yeah.
We told you. We told, we'll chat on the way. We'll say, we're going there to get to the teleportation place.
Okay, yeah. Good excuse.
And then maybe we, fill you in about what's going on in Twin Harbor at the minute and why it's
that would be
dangerous.
And maybe
Why-
Halifax, Hank, wink, wink, should, let her know about life and history in all the world in the last 150 years.
Is
We could spend the
Let-
journey doing that.
is Ms. Samaria a little out of the loop?
Very out of the loop. She will keep asking questions, and they will be stupid questions.
Oh, wow. Halifax will gladly regale you
Oh,
with
yay!
many a tale from the last little while. Most of them will relate to a charming fellow, a most indeed very wise fellow by the name of Okrim.
On.
No, awkward.
Okrim. On also is a person that Halifax is aware of, but Okrim Bawile is his hero, a bard of note, who went on many, many miraculous adventures with Aigner and Eridu, no less.
Aigner will just grunt.
Eridu will grunt. But mostly because of the effort of traveling.
Trying to stay alive.
Yeah, I'll let you know about Onthen Noir and how he's this enigmatic and mysterious fellow. Just you can't pin him down. He's a masterful person.
Well, Leah's going to take everything you say at face value. So
Brilliant. Okay. Also, cows recently started walking on hind legs. You got to address them by their full titles, which is always Duke. Uh,
Now I feel there must be an obligatory cow level in this game.
Egner pipes up and says, first of all, there is no cow level. First of all. Second of all, and this is when his voice will deepen and get a little more serious. And he'll turn in the direction of Leah's voice and say, Leonin, there's something that you have to realize about Twin Harbor, is that right now it's not an incredibly safe place to be for us. And by us, I am mostly meaning people who are not you. In terms of the people of Twin Harbor, I mean, you are may perhaps come off as a little exotic. I'm not sure, but you're not a wanted person like the rest of us kind of are. So you must realize.
Should we be going here if you're wanted?
We kind of need to. We have our ways of hopefully being able to avoid detection, being a little sneaky. We have some options available, but you have to know that this isn't just a stroll in the park. Your proximity with us could turn into a dangerous thing. But
well, your proximity with me is probably a dangerous thing, so I guess we'll muddle along as best we can.
Excellent. We'll all have things to figure out. But yes, we will need to be able to disguise ourselves, disguise our appearances in some way.
Oh good, I just finally memorized your faces.
I pull out my disguise hat at this mention and turn into... Don't know. I'm gonna turn into Jaron, whatever.
Audacious.
And just be like, oh, this is fine. We can disguise ourselves.
I'm sure anything that you want to do with that thing, Ellie, is just fine. Just fine.
I wish that I know who I've turned into.
Okay, don't do that. Do not do that. No. Okay. All right. It's a good thing we're stopping to talk about this. We need to have some kind of plan of, I know we have the capability to take on different forms. So, are we just going to do that somewhat randomly? Should we try and appear like commoners and blend in with the city in that way? Or should we come up with some kind of group that we're all a part of?
I have a cunning plan.
Tell me, Halifax. I'm in need of ideas.
I assume the form of Regis, and you are all my servants.
Oh, I can do that.
Oh, good.
Who's Regis?
I was thinking that plan would be shot down almost immediately. Thank you for being on board, Igna.
Oh, no, I'm... I can play a servant. I'd be good at that. Pshaw.
Leia?
Go for it. No, Leia's
Yeah.
fine. You know what? At this point, I'll do
Leia.
cinnamon buns on the side of my head.
Wait, hold on. I got it.
Just need a blaster.
Just like that.
Is it?
Yeah, mine don't really work for that.
Is it? I want to get this right. It's Leah.
Yeah,
Let's go with
it's
Leah.
It's the one you don't want to be saying. Like, it's the one that your body is not naturally trying to make you say.
And that's how American English works.
I
you
looked
learned
up the
American.
pronunciation in Irish,
Ooh.
but
Oh
if
God,
I was
no,
wrong, I
we,
guess.
we imperially oppressed that country. That's not how we talk at all.
It's just really hard because my cousin's called Leia, so I'm like, it's just embedded in there like, every time.
What
So-
spelling would make you think Leah in your brain?
Leah.
Leah.
Yeah, that would be Leah. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't know.
Go ahead and type that in.
Right.
What were you
So-
saying?
We have alienated
I have no
Disturbed
idea.
fans and the Irish.
Yeah,
are.
we're doing good.
They're great.
Okay.
Keep on watching this channel. See who else we offend.
I will say, I think my dad's tuned in tonight, and my dad is Irish. So hi, Dad.
Does he like
Oh,
Disturbed? Because we could have had a double
side
whammy right there.
That's a double whammy.
Feel free to tell me how wrong I am too. That'd be just fine.
God bless our gracious queen.
Wait, that's the wrong words for that tune.
Anyway, let's just
Stop
move on.
stealing it for our country, 'tis of thee. Anyway, what was I wanting your attention for?
Regis and the servant plan.
Yes.
I was
Um,
asking what was going on.
Eridu
Yes.
will, without a word, turn into a horse. He just wild shapes into a horse. That's what's
Awesome. Yes.
Perfect.
I think you'll find that Regis is a rather rotund fellow. Looks a bit like this. And then I shall alter self to
Mhm.
look like Regis. So Regis is a portly fat man. He's Regis Alveron II of the Winery Cast.
Mhm.
He's a noble who we managed to, at one point recently, trick his servants, his people, into thinking that I was the real one and had been beaten and robbed by this guy, obviously pretending to be me. And so they they sent him away, and I was there as the real Regis. It was great. I even altered some of
and
their memories. To help
Where is
tell
the
them.
real Regis now?
Who knows? Who knows?
He ran off in shame because he stole someone else's identity and couldn't live with live with that anymore. I don't know. He ran off into the woods believing that he was the one who was the false Regis.
Yes.
That to
Like I
me
said,
was the
modified
most
memory,
impressive way of handling that. Was just the fact that you fooled him into believing he was the guy in the wrong.
It was pretty diabolical.
Yeah, it was
How
terrible.
much of this are you actually telling Leah?
Oh yeah.
You telling Leah that you did that?
Yeah. And Halifax is going to be
Oh.
unashamed of the whole thing.
Very proud.
Okay. Well. Cool.
Egner will say, like I told you, Halifax, I'm sorry, Regis, I can play the servant quite well, you will find. And he will pass a hand over his face, and his face changes into a different kind of human face. And he passes his hand over his body, and then his clothing changes from looking like his armor that he regularly has on. He just changes into very simple kind of clothing. His face turns into one that looks a bit dopier than usual. And he just kind of looks like just your regular old simpleton human that's ready to kneel and do anything that he wants for his master Regis.
I love the difference in kind here. That we've got Eridu majestically transforming into this horse. We've got Halifax casting a spell and becoming this fat, portly guy. Aigner again, like weaving magic. And there'll be Ellie with just her hat, like.
I'm very curious if Halifax had the sudden urge to just punch himself in the face.
Backpfeifengesicht?
He's got a punchable punchable face?
Punchable face.
Oh, because of Leah's
Yeah.
feelings.
Yeah, I was
Oh.
gonna say things have gotten chilly real fast.
Oh,
Real fast.
probably then, yeah. But I'll just attribute that to the form that I've currently taken. It's like, oh, this guy's whoa. I
All right.
really find myself uncomfortable in my new skin. Yes.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
As you've approached Twin Harbors, you can see smoke rising from the other side of the shore. For those of you with a good mind for spatial distance, in a very precise distance from one another. There's probably about 5 pillars of smoke that look like they would be coming from a very large fire of some sort. But again, it's very strategically designed. The city itself, the gates are well manned, and the portcullis is pulled closed. You see, there are 4 men in gleaming white armor. 2 stand on the battlement of the walls, and the other 2 stand on the outside of the gate portcullis. And there are other entrances into the harbors, but this is the one that you just kind of have come closest to. And you can see beyond the city walls, it seems to be a lot of hustle and bustle and movement, but there is absolutely no boat traffic around the harbors whatsoever.
Well, that's odd. Egner wouldn't say that out loud because he can't see that there's no boat traffic, but that is odd.
Yeah, I can't find a good way to explain any of that stuff to Agner except for things are loud.
Well, that's fine. I mean,
And
Well,
the
Leah
smell
can
of...
at least ask.
Egner's just trying to be a meek little servant anyways. It's not like he's trying to sleuth anything right now.
Fair enough.
Leah will ask if it's normal for there to be no water activity.
No, that's not. Twin Harbor is the busiest port on this side of this section of the coast.
Indeed. We've seen a great deal of activity there. Quick note, if anyone asks, we're here to discuss trading some wine contract or something. I don't know. I'm not good at improv. Come along now. Let's see if we can get into these gates. And I will ride on Eridu. Meridu.
Love it.
Muscles under Meridu, since he does not have a saddle. And he seems to be walking in a slightly crooked gait. It seems as though his balance is not fully there. But
yeah, Leah's gonna glare at Halifax a lot. Like, you're messing up my brother. Get down from there.
As you
I feel
get-
very uncomfortable. I don't feel quite right on the horse, but perhaps I'll just walk beside it. Just get my leg over. There we go.
I should also at this point out that she is still super pissed, but is trying very hard not to be that way because people. And so she's very, very much focusing on her brother, which means that maybe people are feeling a lot of love for this horse.
Yeah, there's a very, very strong fondness towards this horse.
Yeah, there we go.
If you've ever found yourself at odds with Eridu before, you're now in a moment where something about him being in a horse form is just
like makes it everything better.
Exactly. All right, you make it up along the road to the city gates. One of the men in gleaming armor, he steps forward. You can see he is a tall, slender man, almost radiant in his general appearance. And his skin is very light, his hair almost golden. And he says, "What business do you have at the gates of the harbors?"
I'm here to simply negotiate a contract with a man named Darius. I understand he's within these walls, and I wish to gain entry.
Do you have any writ of this contract?
Well, not yet. We're here to negotiate it for some fine drinks. I am Regis Alvaron II of the Winery Cast. I'm here to discuss with Darius here me selling my wines in this fine, fair city. Yes.
Right. Well, and you can see along the side of the road there's actually been several tents erected, and there are people milling through them. I would like you all to hole up in one of these tents. We will get one of our wizards to come and to just do a general inspection, make sure that everything is on the up and up, and then we'll discover where this Darius is at and point you in the right direction if your story checks out.
Oh, that won't do. Our appointment is for later on this morning. No, I insist that you let us through. We'll simply report to a garrison or something for a wizard's check when it's more convenient for us. Do you not know who I am? I'm Regis Alvaron II. You must let me past.
Look, I've dealt with many an irate noble lately. They don't seem to like the rules we have to put in place, but you understand that there is a imminent threat on the other side of this river. We must be careful about who we let in. We can't put the lives of the citizens of Twin Harbor at risk. So, please, find a place to rest. It won't take long.
Do we know if there are more gatehouses both north and south of here?
There are two main gatehouses for sure.
I can also pull up the Twin Harbor map.
Yeah.
Hey,
Take
it's
a look
there.
at it.
So we on the west side or the east side, Asa?
East, right? 'Cause that's the Free Kingdom side.
Ah, man, I don't know. I
Yes,
don't know why
yes.
you always ask me that.
Oh, thank you. My dog is adorable. I know.
Alright.
East is the Free Kingdoms. West is Dwarven. Yep,
Okay.
there are two main gatehouses. There are other smaller routes for sure.
Okay.
But those are for very specific purposes, like food gates or like very. I can't think of even what you would call them specifically, but yeah.
Okay. What we shall do then is, I shall lead Meridu northwards. I shall say, no need. We shall simply go to a more amenable gatehouse, one with a guard that knows his place. Good day, sir.
This guard mumbles to himself, "Go where you want. You're gonna find the same thing. It's always
And
the same."
I think that we should sort of head northwards a bit and then pull away and then head southwards instead and go to a southern gate and try an entirely different tact.
Mm-hmm.
Where the guards will not be forewarned of us arriving and being some churlish nobles, but this plan ain't working. And
Not a child person, then.
What?
what? Did you think I'm some sort of enchanter, some enchantment wizard, some wizards that can do enchantments?
I do.
Aren't you?
I didn't think of that.
Yes, I know. You didn't think of it as your whole character.
I know. I'm sorry. I was like, I was deep in Regis. All right. I was in deep.
Like method actor deep.
What's hilarious is that Leah also has things that could absolutely be helpful in this case, but she is too pissed to use them.
Oh shit. We need Halifax to do some heavy lifting right now. That's what we need.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to a different gatehouse, and I'll try the usual Halifax tact rather than this whole being Regis thing. I'll shake the Regis thing off.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I just did want to mention, every time he said the words Regis, she just got chillier and chillier.
Wow.
So probably also not helping your reception.
But wait, you're not taking off the disguise, right?
Yeah, I thought I'd do that right in front of these guards, just for don't need this anymore. No.
That's the Regis thing. I'm just being like clarifying.
No. I will keep it up for as long as it
Okay.
takes us to get to the next gatehouse.
Okay. I'm gonna go on your original plan to go towards the northern gatehouse and then just find a smaller one.
Mhm.
So yeah, you head a little further south after going a little further north, and just kind of do this back and forth thing for a minute. You find a a small. It's more like a doorway than an actual gatehouse.
Okay.
It's got one guard standing there. He's holding a large roll of parchment, and occasionally there will be what look to be like delivery people. So just townsfolk who have wagons that they're just carrying on their own, or something like that. And they come and he adjusts his lists and lets them through. Occasionally he rejects somebody, but it's very rare. This seems to be a pretty normal place of operation where everything is supposed to be flowing at a standard rate.
Cool. So yes. Now, I'm going to approach this guard with my usual tact. Just in case something goes awry, do know that my magics help them regard me as friendly. I can't puppet them. So, here goes.
Right.
Good morrow, dear fellow. I would very much like to make our way through this doorway. Would you be amenable to such a transaction if perhaps a few of these were to cross your palm? And I'll like give him a couple of gold pieces.
So that's how you make them friendly.
He did you cast a spell, or is this just a?
I'm just going to try bribing him first, and then cast the spell if that doesn't work.
How much are you giving him?
You know what? I'm going to give him 4 gold pieces.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, you approach when the coast is kind of cleared and there's nobody immediately around. And as you are talking, he's looking at his list. He hasn't actually looked up at you yet. And then when your coins drop on there, he looks up at you and says, "Ah, you are."
Regis Alvaron the second.
Oh, Regis, of course, I believe your name is on the list, but I seem to be having some trouble finding it.
Oh, really? I'm fairly sure I saw it, and I shall reach into my pouch and pull out 10 more gold pieces.
Ooh, wow.
Isn't it right there?
He kind of turns
Under
the
those coins.
he kind of turns the record towards you, as and like kind of folds a little bit to make a pocket. And as you dump the coins into this little pocket of parchment, he goes, "Yes, I seem to have found it." And then he folds the parchment in half, walks over and bangs on the door and says, "Jerry, our 3 o'clock is here." The door opens. Jerry goes, "I didn't think we had a 3 o'clock, but if you say so."
Oh, yes, Jerry. We're on the list and everything. Come along. Not contraband. What are you called? Troop.
Uh,
I don't know.
Entourage?
entourage.
Entourage. There
That's
we
a good
go.
word for it. Yeah.
Don't know why contraband.
They're
Don't go
contrabanding
there.
people
I think
into
of
the
a few
city.
reasons.
Don't even go there. Our cover is flimsy enough as it is. It should be mentioned that whenever Agner is prompted to respond while he's in his disguise of his dopey human alter ego, all he tends to say is just "Duh." Some kind of
As-
noise like that. He's really trying to come off as just like a total like simpleton, you know.
As you make your way into the city, the guard catches Regis Alvaron II and says, "And if anyone asks, tell them Jerry let you in."
Oh. Let's see what he did there.
Thank you.
I do too.
Leah, for the time being, is on the other side of Meridu from Halifax, avoiding looking at anyone and just basically pretending to be a stable hand, I guess, or a footman, groom.
Groom. Yeah, that sounds fitting.
Yeah,
We'll
easiest way to stay out
go
of trouble.
right in. Let's lead the horse in.
You make your way through this side gate, and it leads into like a narrow alley that goes right into the market district. So, fairly quickly, you find yourself in a place that is it's like a Black Friday sale. Just everyone seems to be out trying to sell something. And it's pretty quick that a lot of what people are trying to sell are things like rings and trinkets and amulets, oftentimes shouting that these will provide protection, or these will allow you to avoid the dark gaze of the evil empire, or something along those lines. It's pretty clear the city streets are full of those who are happy to take the fear and use it as a tool for capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys plan to do now that you're in the
Should
city?
we purchase some of these trinkets?
Can I cast detect magic as we're walking through?
You may. If the question is brought out loud, a haggardy old woman says, "Yes, of course. You want this vase? It was my husband's. It
It detects magic.
His ashes are actually still inside of it, but he was a very powerful wizard, and they will keep you safe. He will come to your aid should anyone ever come and try to break into your homestead. It'll make a wonderful. You just put it right above the fire. It'll be super lovely. You'll enjoy it every day."
And why, may I ask, are you?
Selling your husband?
Yes.
Well, I mean, he was a bit of a grouch, and to be honest, I'm happy to be rid of him. But I have plenty of protection myself. I mean, I won't need his defense when I leave the city entirely because I'm going to safer places.
Ah, I see. It seems an awful lot of people are following your lead there.
Yes, it seems that Sedan is a very safe place this time of year.
Indeed. How long exactly have things been like this? My friends and I have been out of town for a little while.
Look, are you going to buy the vase or not? Because I could find someone else.
What's the asking price?
The asking price is 4 gold.
Can I cast detect magic now?
Yes, you may.
Is it magic? Can I see
It
any magic?
is not
around this
magic at all.
Yeah, it's
Can I-
literally a dead
Can I
guy.
move over? Can I move over and take the lid off the? Is there a lid on it?
No. It's like a potted plant vase.
I just shake my head at Halifax. No.
Actually, maybe 1 in every 20 object that is being sold is non-magical. And even some of those that are magical don't fall into a category of magic that would be very useful for defense.
Mm-hmm. I just shake my head at Halifax as we walk past.
My apologies. My footman here is calling my attention to more pressing matters. But perhaps we'll come back and purchase it later.
Yes, but if that banshee across the street tries to sell you her amulets, don't buy them. They're all fakes.
Oh, I'm absolutely sure. Yes. Thank you.
While Regis is doing his thing over there, I would like to try and pull Ellie aside for a hushed conversation.
Oh, I go. I go.
And,
What is it, Agner? What is it? I mean, good guy.
Egner will start off with a "Doi," and then he'll like kind of shake off the dopey personality that he's trying to adopt, and he'll, in a hushed, kind of urgent voice, ask Ellie, this fellow, Jarin, you were able to see him. when we were in Bronzewood Grove. I
Yeah.
I would like you to try and describe him to me, and in particular, any thing that he was wearing, any armor, any particular possessions that seemed to be important to him that he had. Can you please describe in as great detail as possible?
I do this as much as I'm able.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay, so then Egner, having this information, and then after Ellie finishes, he'll reach out and grab Ellie's shoulder and give a nice reassuring squeeze and say, "Ellie, thank you for being my eyes."
Always.
He gets a little choked up and then goes, okay, and then awkwardly retract his hand. All right, I'm sorry, excuse me, I need to focus now. And then he puts his hands to his head, and he's going to try and focus his mind's eye on the description that Ellie gave of Jaren, and he's going to choose something like Jaren's armor in particular.
One thing that was really notable was the helmet that he wore, that he had taken off when he had come to talk with them.
Mm.
And upon getting the description from Ellie and being able to link to that, you had asked her more about it. She described it in as much detail as she could remember. So that is an object for you to attempt to locate.
Fancy Jaren only helmet? Okay. Yeah,
It looks as though it was melted in a pot of stew.
Wait a minute.
No.
No, not that one.
It's not that one.
No, it's not that one. Egner already has a history with that one.
I know.
So yeah, Egner is going to cast Locate Object, and he is going to try and get a bead on where Joran and his special fancy helmet might be.
All right. Within a mile, right? That's the whole thing.
No. It's within,
No?
within
Oh,
a
it's
1,000 feet,
That's right.
which isn't very much, but
No, not at all. But
it's
that's
not
okay.
very much.
Yeah. So you focus your mind on this object, and you sense it. It's at about 800 feet, and it is moving towards the center of, out of the market district and towards the center of, like the center square. Can you pull the map up again?
Mm-hmm.
I want to see, because I want to see. We are on the side where the assassination happened, and the revolutionary battle happened, right?
They may or may not be the same place. Revolutionary Square is where Akron died.
Right.
So, that might not be the same
that
place
was on
as
the western
where,
side.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I think so.
Because the assassination took place in the central square area inside of the eastern.
Yeah, it did,
Yeah.
because that's the Free Kingdom side. Okay, it's all making sense.
So it's making its way in that direction, towards the assassination square.
Uh-huh.
That's the information you have now. What are you going to do with it?
I am going to lash out with my hand and touch Ellie again and say, "Ellie, help me. We have to move. We have to follow me." And then I will go up to where Meridu is and grab the reins and just say, "Duh, my lord. Duh. Wine over here, my lord. Duh.
Yes, let's sally forth this way.
Duh. No, over here." And then he'll take the reins and he'll start following the thread, and he'll, like, no matter what awkward path it leads toward, or if they're going toward a whole crowd of people or whatever, Egner has just got this one-track mind, and he's leading Meridu and everyone else forward in this direction toward where Jaren is.
I will, on this journey, sort of do everything I can to kind of move things out of his way, or move people out of his way, or try and direct him around things if he's not like quick enough to notice things in his way and stuff.
Yeah, as he turns and starts leading Maradu, he just charges right through a group of robed figures, all spouting just collections of holy symbols. They all sort of jump out of the way and then start to shout curses at him in the names of at least 3 different gods. And then after that, Ellie's able to get up and start to kind of like direct him so he's not just rushing through people. You make your way towards the revolutionary or the execution square, assassination square, whatever we're going to call that. And as you get out of the market district, the traffic itself slows down a bit, and there are more patrols. There are paladins, much like the gentleman you saw outside the city gates. Clearly, Azamar, traveling in groups of 2, and they seem to be studying the faces of every person that they walk by. And Ellie and Halifax, you're able to see occasionally their hands move in gestures of spellcasting.
How usual is the presence of Azamar?
I think Halifax would have filled you in about the assassination of Taladrius and how since then his paladins, his like honor guard, had set up a stronghold within this side of the city. And since then, Azamar paladins have been coming in more and more. And over the few weeks following the assassination, it became far too dangerous for there to be any dwarves in this side of the city because these paladins were just fiercely brutal towards them.
Okay. Good to know.
How are they? Are they stood together? Are they sort of group?
Yeah, they're all in pairs of 2.
Okay, so is there a pair we're gonna have to specifically walk past to get there?
Actually, yes, that is where I was going with that. You are on your way. There's a pair coming up now. So far, it's been crowded enough that you've been able to like not get entirely within their notice, but you're coming directly toward a group right now that, and there's nobody else around.
Okay, so just as I'm thinking of casting grease under them just as we're walking past, so that like they hopefully slip and fall before they can finish their spell.
Okay.
And we can slip past.
Okay.
Not that I'm gonna make this like known to anyone else, but if anyone else has any better ideas.
Agner's got a one-track mind. Oh, Halifax, shine, do your thing.
I could do a thing.
Agner's gonna keep going no matter what y'all do. That's what he's
okay. So let's just double check another thing that I've got. Okay, never mind. So yeah, I will try to charm them as we approach and convince them. In fact, no, I've gone for a long rest. I think that I'm going to go for Modify Memory straight off the bat. We're going to go for Modify Memory, and because it is an enchantment that targets 1 creature, and I'm an enchantment specialist, I can make it target 2. It will modify their memories to make them think that they've already scanned us and don't need to.
Okay. I would like you to roll a stealth check.
Oh, cool.
Unless you do not wish to cast the spell stealthily.
I do wish to spell stealthily. Hold on. Let's see. Dice roll.
No,
Dice
I'll
roll.
just keep going.
So my dice are downstairs. Let's do this with a. I mean, it's a natural 20 on the Google dice roller thing, but it's still a
How?
I'm gonna count it. I mean, you can roll
yeah.
it. All right. Cool.
Google came through for once.
Actually, because I like critical. What I was going to do is I was going to let them make their save checks, with disadvantage if you passed,
Hmm.
because they wouldn't have seen you cast it. But since you crit, and I like crits, they don't even get a save. You've just done it so sneakily that they don't even recognize that there's a spell cast at them at all.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
You're walking with them. You do this gesture, and they kind of look at you and give you a polite wave and keep on moving by.
Yes. Well, that was a close one, wouldn't you say? Yes. Now, where is Aigner leading us to?
I don't know. Let's just go. Let's just follow. Trust him.
All right.
I feel like at this
Carry
point
on.
I have my hands on his shoulders and I'm like kind of directing him around people. It's like, nope, nope, nope.
Duh. Okay. That's how
You
it responds.
as you make your way to Assassination Square, you see the square's got a few people in there, kind of moseying through. They seem to be making their way fairly quickly through. There's actually a number of paladins in here, probably about 6 of them, and they are there are 2 of them standing just outside of a large tower, and then there are a few more just moseying around, and sort of if people linger too long, they sort of usher them along. Egner, you are picking up on the helmet, and it's on. It's you can't see what it's on, but it's not really moving anywhere. It just kind of is occasionally shifting here and there in the square itself, but it's somewhere within the square.
If can I tell that if I were able to see, it should be in my line of sight?
Mhm.
Okay. I'll tell Ellie in particular. You should be able to see him. You should be able to see the helmet, and that he'll give a vague. He can't point directly, maybe, but he can give a vague like over here, or over there, or over.
Can I see? Can I like tiptoes and try and
You
look for it?
you see the 6 paladins. 2 resting up against the tower building, and the other 4 making sure that this square stays clear. That's all you see.
Do I see that it's the helmet of Jaren?
You don't see the helmet of Jaren.
Okay, I whisper to Agner, I can just see paladins. 6 paladins, I can't see him or the helmet or anything.
Well, then Jarn is disguising himself as one of these paladins. Trust me, it's here. I can see
Is my
it.
how long has this taken us to do since I cast Detect Magic?
What's the duration of detect magic?
10 minutes?
10 minutes?
I think it would be outside of that.
Okay, I'll cast it again then.
Yeah. Yeah. As you cast it, you can see that 4 of these men have illusory magic around them. 2 of them have. There's no subset of divination. What's the most common protective magic? Adjuration.
Abjuration, yeah, it's protective
Yeah.
magic.
That would be the other 2 have abjuration auras coming off of them.
Okay, I tell this to Agner.
Wait, I'm sorry, repeat the numbers again. So 2 of them have
4
abjuration,
illusion, 2 abjuration.
4
Yep.
illusion, 2 abjuration.
And I will say, because of the detect magic and the amount of time you have traveled, Ellie had seen that every other paladin that she's come into contact with, at least while she had detect magic open, also had abjuration magic on them.
Okay.
Jarn's a sneaky bastard. Is there a way to get rid of these magic auras?
Someone has to spell magic. If I had a... Ooh, do I? I don't know
Is
if
there
I
a way
have
to
it.
dispel this magic?
I whisper across to Leah and Halifax asking if they have dispel magic. That's the thing they have.
I don't use magic.
What are you? You know what?
You're muted,
I'm a
Drew.
warlock, but I don't know it, so.
I know you. I just like narrow my eyes at her and like, you Eldritch blasted me. That's magic. Come on. We don't have time for this, Leah.
I don't know the spell.
I have counterspell.
Yeah, it's not going to help if they're not casting it now. See, if I slept, I could probably prepare it, I think. That's not going to help now either, so...
I
No.
mean, did you adjust your spell list since the last time you slept? Because
I mean,
I'm not a super
I didn't.
preparation Nazi, so if you want to say, "Oh, I did prepare it," I don't care. It's fine with me.
Do it, do it, do it. Because you can prepare your spells every
Yeah,
time, you know?
okay.
Like, every time you do
like, I
this.
will. I mean, I feel like it's slightly cheating, but I will.
It is slightly cheating, but
We-
you also
We all do
prepare your
a little
spells
bit
left,
here
so
and
why
there.
not?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
okay.
did you just say we all cheat
We
a little
all
bit?
do
Is that
a
what you just
little
pretty
bit.
much
We all
said?
do a little bit. I mean,
I mean,
all I'm saying is that
I-
we sanction it in certain times, you know?
Oh,
like,
right, that's true.
yeah. I mean,
I always allow people to cheat.
I mean, like, saying cheating is framing it in such a bad way. You know what I mean?
We
'Cause
fudge
it's
it
like,
a little bit.
fudging it for the purpose of like having a dope narrative moment and a proper moment of drama. Like, you know,
That's right.
I'm not saying do it every time. I'm just saying do it sometimes.
In service to the story.
Yeah.
I always allow people to adjust the odds to be within their favor.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I whisper to Agner. I may be able to get rid of it, but we need to consider what's going to happen when I drop the spell on them. If I drop the spell, they might suddenly run at us. And I'm only going to be able to do it one at a time.
One.
Is it that you think one of them is Jaren? Jaren?
I know one of them is Jaren.
Okay, do you have any inkling on which one?
If I if I really focus on where it is, actually
You can just sense the direction and you can go that one and just point and
point.
would-
Okay. I was also thinking of just
hopefully
like
you're pointing at a person.
I just hope. Well, I hope. Actually, this is what Egner's gonna do, because he's desperate enough, and he's dumb enough to do both of these things. He's just gonna walk directly. He's like, "I'll show you," to Ellie, and then he's just gonna walk directly up to where Joran supposedly is, and he's
Right.
just gonna
Can I
try.
walk like arm in arm with him? Because I don't. There's no way I'd let him walk off on his own.
As you approach, this person looks at you and, "Citizens, this square is under renovations. We need you to be out of the way for your own safety. At any time, this tower could collapse. We wouldn't want you to be under it when it does."
The pretty tower. The
Yes, yes.
tower
Please
big.
make your way.
To tower, and then Agner will just keep up the dumb act, and
He's like motioning towards one of the other guards.
I'll look to Agner and give him the kind of like, "Are you sure about this?" look.
and we should be close enough at this point when Agner reaches his arm out toward the guy. It's like it should be pretty obvious. It's the one that's right there. And he just says, "Thank you, you kind, thank you."
Alright, I'm gonna cast. Oh god, I'm gonna cast a spell magic on the guy right in front of us.
As he's
Even
waving this other guard forward, you're putting a hand on his sword. The illusion of this paladin drops away, and standing in front of you is Jaren, realizing that, like, it takes him a second to realize that his spell is gone, and the guard that's coming close to him stops, and Ellie, you're aware that guard still is covered in the abjuration magic. Mm. He grabs his sword and pulls it out and says, "What have you done to me?" And we're gonna roll some initiative or actions.
Okay.
Oh,
Agner has no idea what's going on. He's
I want to roll for Eridu because I want him to do horse stuff.
God.
Go gadget.
Can I have
Meridu.
12?
Oh my god!
Where's my?
I got a dirty 20.
I swear
rolled
I've
17.
rolled like a 1 or a 2 on initiative
Oh,
for like
no.
the last 3 battles or something.
There we
Like Agner's notoriously quick, not quick to respond. He's quick to make a plan, the last to try and execute that plan. That's how he rolls.
I got a 12.
11. This is gonna go so badly.
Eridu got a 7. Let's see. So we got 12 for Leah. I wrote Tia. I don't know why. And then an 11 for Ellie.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me just a second because I might have someone going before Halifax, but I don't think so because I don't think they're going to have a bonus to dexterity. But actually, we're going to go ahead and say they don't. So Halifax, go ahead and go.
Okay. So
To paint the picture right now,
hmm,
you've got Jaren just appeared. His whole disguise dropped, and now he is Jaren. He's got his hand on it, or he's drawn his sword. One guard is standing hesitantly looking at him, a bit confused. You've got a little bit further off 2 more guards. One of them is looking at the group. The other one is looking at the guard is looking at the group. And then the 2 that are by the door of the tower are just starting to push themselves up off the wall, as though they're about to act.
Has the situation with Jaren been explained to Leah, or were you gonna kind of quietly not mention the whole like side quest of rescuing this other person? Because
Right, because she was not in the building when that was brought up.
yeah,
I don't get to make
So-
that decision.
has anyone mentioned this at all?
I would be liable to say that we could just retro that with the powwow when Agner was like, "How are we going to disguise ourselves?" Like, we could
Right.
we could retroactively say that we brought
We
up
could
that
have gone more
whole
into
angle
detail.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and we said as well on the way that like we were filling her in on Twin Harbor and why we were going there and stuff.
Mhm.
So I think
Okay. All right, that does affect her actions. So carry on.
I am going to attempt to dominate Joran.
All right.
Whoa.
He needs to make a Wisdom saving throw, DC 17. He gets advantage on the saving throw because,
Yes, we're in combat.
yeah.
Okay. I am. Come on, thingy work. Sorry, I have like a billion stat blocks I need to cycle through. So, I rolled a natural 15, so he does save that.
Darn. He does nothing when he succeeds.
Is it save or suck? That's not fun.
Yeah.
Although the ability to control the battlefield with domination spells is so solid that
Yeah. It needs to be balanced in that way, you know.
Yeah.
indeed. Okay.
So that's my second 5th level slot spent.
Oof.
And, yeah. A second and last 5th level slot, in fact. But I will move towards Meridu.
All
To
right.
make sure I'm stuck next to the horse.
The 2 abjuration guards, the obvious paladins, are they have their hands on their swords. One of them is still staring at Jaren, quite uncertain. The other one looks at the rest of the group and then turns and notices that his fellow paladin is just dead eye staring at him. he draws his sword, and you can all just kind of see his hand shaking a little bit, and then he turns from that paladin and just runs away screaming. And
Who's
that
the
would
person who's running away screaming?
one of the actual paladins.
Mm.
This is going to be confusing until we know who's who. Um,
Very paladin-like behavior.
Mm.
that makes it Leah's turn.
Right.
Wow.
So, has the objective already been disclosed to Leah that what we are trying to do is get Jaron to take us to this other person? Am I correct in assuming that's what we're trying to do?
Yeah. Jaren's the only one who would know where Emily is, so we need to find some way of incapacitating Jaren, or just getting the information out of Jaren, or something.
Okay. Okay. So I have three things I'm trying to decide between doing.
Okay.
Hang on just a sec. The other paladins don't recognize Jaren, do they? Or like, what is their? They're just kind of confused at this point, looking at him.
Yeah, there's one that's definitely staring at him confused. There's one now running away, and it
Mhm.
seemed to he seemed all he seemed to do before he ran away was look at another one of the paladins, and then ran off.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the four paladins in the group in the center of the square. The other two were leaning up against the tower wall, and are just now starting to, move.
Okay. Okay. Whoops. Right. I'm going to. Leah's actually going to do something. I rolled and to see if she's going to actually do something or not, and she is. So she is going to really, really want the all the very confused paladins to become even more confused to the point where they don't actually notice what's going on anymore.
Okay.
And that is going to manifest as casting confusion.
All right. And what's the range of that spell? How many of them can you get?
It's 90 feet in it's a 10-foot radius sphere centered on a point I choose. So can I choose a point that gets all of them?
You could choose a point that will get 3 of them. Jaren,
Okay.
the guy standing next to Jaren, and the one that was, dead-eyeing the running away guy.
Okay.
What's the DC for that?
Yeah. 16.
16, okay. Jaren, that guy, and that guy. Bump. Ooh, that's not good for most of those people. Yep. Jaren is going to fail.
Confusion, yeah. That's a pretty interesting spell. A lot of possible options for
Right.
confusion.
Okay, so it looks like Jaren seeing that point. Now, what is it? Just creating a point of confusion that's like, well, okay, it's her emotions, right?
Yeah, the idea is to have them be so distracted by their own confusion that someone can run and grab Jaren and
Right.
kind of shuffle off, and no one knows what's going on.
Jaren is, he turns and he starts to,
That'd be great.
yeah, he starts to run off, and then the other guard that was looking at Jaren and he also seems kind of confused, and he starts to think that the guy who's running away has the right idea and starts to make off after him. The last of the group just turns and looks at you, and you get this feeling that there is no emotion coming off of this guard at all.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Is that happen to be the one that the other guy took one look at and started screaming about?
That's the one.
That's
Interesting.
right. I'm going to let's see, whoever is closest to me, I'm going to suggest very quickly that we run in the direction of Jaren and try to like peel him off from everyone else and
Yeah, he
grab
turned
him.
and tried to, like, he's in a weird space where the point of your origin for your fear comes from behind him, and he's got two
Mhm.
people standing right in front of him. So he kind of
Mm-hmm.
turns and runs towards the tower, but Egner and Ellie would be able to make an opportunity action.
Want to? Does Aigna make a move to attack him?
Attack who now?
Jaren.
Jaren.
Oh yeah.
Because he's running away from the two of you, you have an opportunity to react.
Oh yeah. I definitely will.
Okay.
'Cause-
If Aigna does, then Ellie will do as well.
Well, yeah, because if I hit him, then I can trip him.
Right.
So let's hope I hit him. Okay, that's a good roll. I'm tripping out about whether or not I want to like bust out my sword, because I'm also trying to do this like this this kind of like disguise or whatever. Fuck it. There's a lot of confusion going around.
Mhm.
He whips out his sword, lickety split, out of nowhere, and he gets a 26 to hit Jaren's AC.
Oh yeah.
Turns it into a trip attack. Jaren has to make a strength saving throw.
Can you do an attack of opportunity?
Yes. Wait, hold on. That's a good question, Asa.
It's a wonderful question. I know. I made it.
Maneuvers. Trip attack. When you hit with a weapon attack. That's
Okay.
kind of what it says on D&D
That-
Beyond.
Sounds fair to me then.
Okay, cool. So he's got to make a strength saving throw, DC 15.
Boom. And I don't believe he's got a +4 to strength.
Oh,
does not.
sick.
He fails.
So he's going to take a total of 19 damage. And
Oh, man.
he trips on his ass, dude.
Okay. Yeah, he falls from, lands face first on the cement.
Sweep the leg, Johnny.
You hear a couple of teeth crack.
Oof.
Um,
Nice.
yeah.
Okay, so he's on. Do I still get my attack opportunity there?
Yes. You just have advantage now because he fell over.
Oh, I don't know. That sounds great.
Yeah, kids are.
Oh! That was a crit and a crit fail, so.
Ooh.
Alright.
They
Right.
balance
I'll
out into a normal hit. Just kidding.
No, they don't.
I was just kidding.
No, worse
so
things
the-
happen than that.
What on a. Oh, stop it. Right, where's my P4? Okay, so it's right. Hang on. How do you do it on crit? So you roll it twice, or do you double the number?
The damage
I-
dice, the total
yeah. Do you roll it?
damage dice, you just roll them twice.
That's a way to do
Yeah?
it.
Yeah.
Simplify it. Yeah, we'll just do that. I have a different way of doing it, but it's a little more complex.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the way I usually do it either. Okay. Well, good because that was the worst possible roll I could have done. 3 ones.
Ouch.
Better.
See, I actually do a little bit of both. I have you maximize the damage you could have rolled with the normal attack, and then roll extra damage on top of that.
Mhm.
Huh.
I just like things to happen with crits.
At 24 damage.
Okay.
Do you only get the one attack? Do you get like how? I can't remember how.
You
You can only do one attack on a attack of opportunity.
Yeah. Has to be on your turn to do the multiples.
24 then.
Yeah. So that was 24 damage with your hit. What you using your sword? Do you have a sword?
Yeah, light. So it's a radiant rapier.
Okay.
So it is magical, and I also did arcane jolt as well, which was some of that damage.
All right. Yeah. As after Agner sweeps his feet, he falls. He's falling. He's like turning himself. He lands hard on his shoulder. Um, in the side of his face. That's where the teeth cracking comes in. But he's able to like roll himself onto his back. He starts to lash out with his sword, and you just really quickly swing with your rapier, and you cut his hand off at the wrist. Like your rapier just glows for a moment, and just lightsaber style sever, cauterizing the wound instantly. He screams, holding the stump where his hand used to be. And with him on his back and his helm on, you guys, well, not you guys, because Agner can't see. Ellie, you see what seems to be carved uh, faintly a Z on the ridge of his helmet.
Okay, awesome.
Um,
That was way more brutal than Ellie meant it to be.
yeah, it was just one of
Cut
those
his
things.
hand
Where,
Oh,
it was one of those things where she went to just go take a casual swing to like, kind of get him to back up a little bit. He happened to be starting to swing at the same time.
Mhm.
Oops.
All right,
So now
that was
Obi-Wan.
that was Leah's turn. Are you done, Alex, or do you have some more actions to take?
I don't think I have any additional actions. Hang on just a second, just to make sure.
Okay.
Not at the moment.
All right,
Looks like we'll have to stop in the middle of battle.
It does. Let me go ahead and say this. As he is screaming with his hand, severed, he then like quickly drops his left hand and pulls a dagger out from his belt. And as he does, Ellie and Agner start to feel the temperature around you guys dropping. The whole square just becomes much, much colder as soon as this dagger is unsheathed. And that's where we'll stop for today.
Oh, Egner can't see the Z thing, but if he was gonna be able to see the Z thing, he would just scream in frustration. Zarkon, you keep ruining my life. Why? Why? Zarkon, why? Why? Alright. That's a pretty sweet little cliffhanger. Thanks everyone for joining us this Tuesday afternoon for Roll for Mischief. Join us next week and we'll see what's going on with Jaren and this crazy deep freeze knife that he's got. So,
Yeah, buddy.
yeah, thanks for watching.
Fun.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.